Hi guys, welcome back to the balcony. The reason why we're here today and why I look all summery is because I want to tell you a scary story that happened during one of my summer vacations in a small quiet town on the coast. All the best scary stories happen in small quiet towns, don't you think? So it was over 10 years ago, so I must have been in my very early 20s, and I was taking a vacation at the seaside with my parents. There were my parents, me, and my cousin, who is I think 4 years younger than me, so she was a teenager at the time. We rented an apartment at some people's restaurant or so. I remember there was this old married couple. We hadn't met before. We met through some mutual acquaintances, some weird channels, and they had a restaurant, and above their, I think, seafood restaurant, there was one apartment they had for rental, which they rented out to tourists, and we were those tourists. When we got there, after a 5-hour car ride in the summer heat without air conditioning, we got there, we met them, and they were so adorable, and they kept talking, explaining about the restaurant, and they have a house very close by, etc. And they also had a son. He was several years older than me, and they explained to us that their son had gone to an art school in Italy. He was an artist, and the apartment they were renting was in fact his art gallery, which they had closed down and remodeled into an apartment because they couldn't really live off of painting, right? And they explained that all the paintings that he had painted were still there, and I was all sweaty and sticky and dirty from that car ride, and I was thinking, okay, the little dweeb paints, I get it. Please just let me go upstairs so I can wash my hands and face. And the boy, he looked like the most regular guy next door you can possibly imagine. He looked very average. I remember he rode a Vespa and he wore flip-flops all the time. So he looked average, but looks can deceive. The people finally give us the key and we go up there into the apartment, and we see the paintings which still hung on the walls. Those paintings, you guys, I remember really intense colors: red, orange, purple, indigo. He reminded me a bit in his style of painting of maybe Salvador Dali, something very expressionist or avant-garde, really weird stuff. The paintings looked like they were painted by somebody more mature, maybe somebody in their early 50s, not early mid-20s. In one painting, there was a boot with these sort of guts coming out of it. Yeah. On another painting, these creepy curtains which moved, if you looked long enough, they appeared to swing from side to side gently, which was strange. And then I also remember this pair of purple eyes, really strange eyes, which followed you if you moved from left to right. And I remember standing there thinking, how the heck am I gonna sleep in here? But hey, I'm on a vacation. I'm not gonna let it bother me, right? Right. So the first night came, and my parents, they wanted to go take a walk to see the small town, to see the center, to maybe breathe in some Mediterranean air. And my cousin and I were like, we're gonna stay in, sit under the air conditioning, and we're gonna watch TV. They leave, her and I stay in. Sorry about that. Her and I stay in, and we get into our little summer pajamas. We get into bed, we are flipping the channels on the TV. chilling, doing nothing, and then it happened. The power went out. Suddenly, silence, darkness, nothing. Usually, I would be the first person to start panicking in a situation like that because I have this ridiculously vivid imagination. But I was stone cold. I don't care. I'm on a vacation. It's not my house. It's not my problem that the power went out. I will just stay here and chill. And my cousin, in bed next to me, she was freaking out. She started telling me things like, somebody is walking up the stairs. But I don't hear anything. No, listen. Somebody's walking up the stairs. Somebody's here. No, if somebody was coming up the stairs, I would hear it too. What if it's the demon who possessed that painter to paint those things? I wasn't going to dignify that with an answer. And then, the key in the front door were only a few meters away from us, in that silence and darkness. The key in the lock, which we had locked, rattled and the key turned, apparently on its own. And the door swings open, and it's the painter with a flashlight. And my cousin jumped up, landed on my lap, and put a pillow in front of herself for protection. I didn't know how it was gonna help, but I was more startled by her than by the guy. And he was the most chill guy ever, flashing that light at us saying, "Are you girls okay? I just dropped by to check in on you. The fuse box went out. I'll go fix it right now. Don't you worry. Bye. Have a good night." He turns around and he leaves. And we are grabbing onto each other, my cousin and I, and we're shivering in fear. And I'm thinking, oh my God. A guy walks in and he finds me in bed with my female cousin on my lap. We were there for a whole week. I don't think I looked him in the eyes once. I hope you like the story. I swear every word is true.